Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nocturnal Feeding Show, where we are feeding your late night hobby hunger. I am your co-host, Fish Room Fever. Give it up for Chattanooga Ed.
Hi guys, how y'all doing? I am currently wrestling with a cat. For some reason tonight, he keeps wanting to get up on the keyboard. He like made the dive right before the switchover. It was unbelievable. But it's great that everybody came on to say hi to us and hang out. We're starting up early again. I think maybe next week we'll just plan on starting at 10:30. And if Rack comes on, because that's his time, we will just definitely wait till 11:30. And but that way we just don't have a big old gap where we're all sitting around doing nothing.
Absolutely.
I mean, does that work for you, James?
Works for me. I'm going to run through and say some hellos real quick. We got a lot of awesome people in here. 44 Mag Guy, Pugs Tanks, John Cox, Recon 338, William Pridemore, Deb Hall, D, Kaler's Aquatics. Good to see you, Bob. Sandy Doty, Candy Overhauls, Recon again. Hello. Scroll through here. Of course, Chattanooga Ed and myself in the chat. Exotics / multiple aquariums. Pepling Creek Aquatics. Sand Creek Aquatics 2. Hello, Amy. Good to see you. 44 Mag Guy again. Sure, don't miss anybody. Ian Atkins, I probably will miss somebody, and my apologies when I do. Lots of good conversation. Roxanne Powers, hello. Appreciate you being here. Scrolling and scrolling. Lots of back and forth. Muppet 929. Tampa Tom Fishing is here. Normally, you're catching the replays, buddy. Good to see you. John
Awesome.
Cox, if I missed you, hello. John Larson, GRB Aquatics Fish Streams. Appreciate you all being here very, very much. If I missed anybody's, and I probably did, my apologies. We do appreciate you being here. But I'm going to turn it on over the Zen Ginger, of course, posting the links. Thank you for being here as well. I'm going to turn it over to Ed so he can hit you with the first segment of the show, if you will.
Yep. Well, guys, James and I had a super fun weekend last weekend. I don't think neither one of us had any clue what was in store for us.
Oh.
We just kind of winged it and had a blast. You know what? I'm going to move that up there. We just had a blast. We drove to Indianapolis because we heard about a fish swap that was going to be in a parking lot. And we decided to head on up, and Haley was there from Oddball Aquatics, and it was her fish club. I think it's called Circle City Aquarium Club, I think.
I believe so.
All right. And I keep meaning to look. I even did an unboxing, a 15-minute unboxing. It's probably the biggest video I've ever made. And I keep forgetting to look up the name of their club just to be able to put that in the little thing at the bottom.
Nope.
And I like at one point I said Circle City Fish Club, and then I said, oh, it'll be at the bottom. So I need to look that up for sure and then post that thing. But we had just an absolute blast. The everybody in that club was so nice. Did you meet a mean person?
Nope, not one.
Everybody was so cool. We drove into the parking lot, and Tom Patterson comes and meets us before we even get there. And awesome. Yeah, Tom is so cool. I got some of his White Cross Endlers. So now I have a tank of White Cross Endlers. Now look, my glasses, I see them bent, and I'm going the wrong way. Okay. And then he also gave me some pothos and some guppy grass, which is actually pretty cool because I kind of had a die-off on a lot of my guppy grass. I wasn't fighting the duckweed, and I thought, well, maybe if I give it like a month without any evergreen, or easy green, I would beat the duckweed. And what happened is I think it just killed off a lot of my duck, or well, I'm not thinking it did. It wiped out a whole bunch of my guppy grass.
You think it just outcompeted it for nutrients?
Yeah, I didn't think anything could, but I think floating plants can, or top of the water. I guess, it gets the oxygen off the air. So that's a major advantage, I guess.
Absolutely. And I also got some of those White Crosses from Tom Patterson. So I'm happy to have those in the fish room.
That's cool. Yeah, my biggest regret was I didn't buy more fish. I think I bought a lot of fish, and we could go. We'll talk about it all. They had and it wasn't at their club website their club site. It was at Aquatic Arts, like their warehouse. They hosted the site for them because they have a huge driveway, or not driveway, parking lot. It's like kind of out in the middle of nowhere. They're going to be building a VA across the street, but other than that, there's nothing. I mean, we couldn't have. I don't know if there's even a fast food place anywhere around to get a pop or something.
I don't know. It was a nice little setup though. And they were kind enough to take us inside and give us a little tour. Haley Oddball Aquatics did that, so that was very cool to go check out the setup inside.
Yeah, that was super neat. She showed us a $2,000 fish, and it's on their website. It's a gold bicher or biker or bashir, however you want to say it. Yeah, 2,000. I think she said there's 2 in North America. Is that what she said, or it was something like that? They're mega ultra rare. So she was pretty looking forward to maybe getting that herself someday. Yeah, I think.
So Sacred Creek Aquatics 2, Amy is saying, what's the name of the fertilizer you use for your live plants, Chattanooga Ed and Fish Room Fever? I use the Easy Green, and before I was using it, Ed was using Easy Green.
Yep. I use Easy Green. I also got a bottle of Stephen Conroy's stuff. Mm-hmm. So if I ever get through my Easy Green, I'm going to try the Stephen Conroy stuff. So see if it works just the same.
I've got a Easy Iron as well, just for a couple of the tanks with the red plants in them.
Oh, how's that working? I've never used it.
So far, so good. It's only been 3 or 4 weeks, but, everything's looking pretty.
Cool. I have some Fritz that I've gotten, just as a sample or something in the past. I've just never used it. It's just in its bottle in the shelf. So I might use Fritz someday. Or no, it wasn't Fritz. It's who makes Prime. It's their version.
Seachem?
Yes, Seachem makes Flourish. The Seachem Flourish. I have a bottle or 2 of that I haven't used. But Easy Green, everybody says it's just the best, and I believe them because I started with it, and it's hard to go away. It has the easy pump, and basically it's 1 pump per 10 gallons. So if you got a 20-gallon pump, it's cool. The only thing is I would recommend is always wipe the pump off when you're done, because it'll I think the minerals collect on it or something.
Let's see, it's so easy that I have to remember to do it because it's not a huge thing, so it kind of skips my mind. So I set it up to where I do mine on Thursdays. So after our stream, I'll actually go around and do my pumps of Easy Green, and my couple places I do Easy Iron. That way I do my weekly dose is what I'm doing currently.
And, I used to do a weekly dose, and now I'm doing it about every other week because
Nice.
Stuff works so good. I haven't even hit this tank in probably 2 months, and I mean, it's just crazy.
I've got a lot of stuff, give away a secret here, a lot of stuff that I'm working on that I've propagated out, that I'm growing out for when I start selling on the Guppy Guru's site that he's got set up. So I'm sticking with the once a week currently, but we'll talk about that a little more at another point in time.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll mention the Guppy Guru website really quick. Is that all right?
Absolutely. Yeah, go for it.
Now, I just thought about it today, and I was like, hey, Peter, what's the name of that? And I had him send it to me, and I just clicked the link, so I didn't even actually see what the name was.
Got you. So what you could do, it's Salt City Aquatics. I have got, and I have had for a little while, link to their website on the Fish Room Fever website in case you forget it, along with some other people as well. But you go on there, and they have branded it Our Fish Collective, which I think is awesome. They've got a really awesome program going on. If you haven't checked out Guppy Guru's video about it, I think it's a great program. I was very happy and excited to become a part of it when they reached out to me. So Yep, there's and Ginger has posted the link for it. I appreciate that. So coming soon.
Yep, that's cool. Well, I know that he has some guppies that are called Czech guppies, and I didn't know there was such a thing as Czech guppies.
Well, wouldn't all of your guppies be Czech guppies? They're in your
you
possession.
Would think. They're owned by a Czech American, but but so I mean, who knows? Maybe he just had like 4 of these, and he figured that as soon as I saw them, I would order them, and I'll name them Czech, and Ed'll buy them. But yeah, so I'll be making an order of I don't know if they come in trios or pairs. I didn't get that far into it, but pretty cool looking little guppy. It's kind of a whole mix of different colors.
Absolutely.
Kind of happy. But let's go back to talking about this weekend. So we were going to leave I think the plan was I was going to leave my house at 9 a.m. I had everything ready, and I'm all set to go. I even sat down and kind of chilled out and drank a glass of milk, and I was just relaxing. And I was like, okay, it's 9 o'clock. And I go to grab my keys, and they're not there. I searched for the keys of my truck for 45 minutes, and it turned out I had left them in my truck. And, oh, man, that drives you crazy. But so I started off 45 minutes late. No, Nico. See, he's going back up to the top. So that started me off 45 minutes late. And I was like, don't worry, James, we still have an hour to work with. I didn't realize that Indianapolis is not Central Time. It's Eastern Time.
Part of it is and part of it isn't.
Well, but we were on the
Indianapolis
the west
is
side.
We I think because Miss Fever's got 2 or 3 friends that live in Indiana, and they're all Central Time. So she's like, yeah, it's Central Time. And I never even bothered to look. And of course, on all of the technology, everything automatically switches over time zones without telling you. So it can be tricky sometimes. So I had to message Miss Fever and say, hey, what time is it there? And it was the same time we were in. I was like, okay, we're still in Eastern Time.
So I don't know if we were actually 15 minutes late.
Yeah, because we had to check in at the hotel before we went.
Yeah, we had to check in the hotel. It said that we had to check in before 7, and so we thought, oh boy, we better check in. And the hotel ended up being like probably 40 minutes, 30 minutes away. It's pretty far distance.
Minutes. Yeah,
because this place was way out, kind of in the country. So we check in, then we jump and figure out that place, and we get there, and that's when we met Tom. That was awesome. And it's like, what they did was the people pulled their cars up to the curb, and this warehouse is a really long warehouse. So probably if they wanted 50 cars could have been there. I don't know. Maybe there was 25 salesmen people in the club. And I think they were selling a lot of their Babbitt fish and just a lot of spare fish that they had. And they probably get rid of them at their normal club meetings since they've had any. They just had a ton to get rid of. And James and I, being the new guys on the block, we don't have any of their fish. So we just had a blast. It was so much fun.
So Tennessee is split. Somebody asked about our time zone. We are partially in Eastern and partially in Central. So
yeah, if you go probably 10 minutes west of Chattanooga, you're in the Central Time Zone. So I'm right on the time border. Nashville's actually in Central. But so whenever Ginger Graves is talking to us, she seems like she's just north, but she's actually in a different time zone. So bizarre. Hey, Scott from Alien World Aquatics is here.
Go ahead.
Scott, I'll be talking to you in a little bit about something else. Go ahead, James.
We've also got Streetwise and Blake's Aquatics. Melvin Rebuilding Our Brand is with us. A lot of people have come in since the original intro. Multi-Tank Addiction is here. Miss Fever has joined us. Lots of cool people. But I was just going to say, we also intentionally got our hotel where it was closer to LRB's house than it was to the fish swap. That way, because after we left the fish swap, we went to Lucas's house, which was awesome, and then to the hotel from there. So that's why our drive was a little bit further away. Mr. Fisher, Brad, hello. Deb H. Deb Hall D, hello. So yeah.
Tom says that I needed a shopping cart, and he is being literally correct. I had filled my arms up so many times and walked to my truck and came back. I was in guppy and inler heaven. It was wonderful. But yeah, well, I got some of Tom's White Crosses right off the bat, and I got 4 of them, and they're doing wonderful in their tank. And then what I'll do, I wonder how I should. I'll go by the way that we walked.
Sounds good. And we also did live stream it because it was on Saturday, so it fell in line with the Saturday Night Fever. So you all feel free to go check that out at some point if you're looking to see how the actual event was set up.
Yeah, I want to watch that too. I haven't seen it. I have missed so many people's videos over the last 4 days. It's unbelievable. I've been working like a madman because I had all these fish. I probably had over 200 fish I had to home. And then I've been working like a madman also, just trying to set my fish room up and everything. I want to get it done before Danikin gets here in another week and a half.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, next week, mark my words, I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm going to do my best, will be my first nocturnal feeding in the fish room.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And I don't know if Danikin will be in town. If he is, maybe he'll be there for the stream. And maybe James can come on down too if he wants. I don't know.
Sure, why not?
Oh.
Love to.
I know that when Danikin gets here, we plan on hanging out with Bob and James, and we're gonna check out the aquarium and maybe some good places to eat and just have some fun.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a blast.
And I say Danikin, I should say Kenny E.
Kenny
because
E.
unfortunately Danny is staying at home. But maybe she's totally welcome next time. Okay, so I went first to Tom's, and then we went right down, and Haley was right next to Tom, and I bought my first plecos, James. I bought 5 little brown plecos, and with their bristle-nose brown plecos.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, that was towards the beginning, she had the albino longfin ones too. But I've been just always looking for just plain old generics,
Right.
And we found out that Bob wanted some of those, and Haley was bummed out she didn't give me a bag to bring back to Bob. But still, then I bought some. I'm just going to go through the list of stuff I bought from her. I bought shrimp from her. Wild and Skittles.
Mm-hmm.
I also bought Jungle Val, and I think that's what I got from her. Now you scored big on her mom.
That didn't sound right at all, Ed.
Her mom brought in a great deal for James.
Yeah.
Why don't you say what you got?
I ended up with at least 60, if not more than that. We'll say at least 60 purple Moscows. She had them bagged out at $1 a bag for about 6 or so in each bag. And so I looked and I was like, yep, I'll take all those. So the Skittles are a mix, Amy was asking.
Yep. Those used to be Haley's. They used to be on her live stream, and she gave them to her mom.
Yeah, so I've got a whole tank of those, and they are so pretty, and they've got some nice blues to them actually as well. But I couldn't really see when they were in the bags. It's hard to tell. Plus they're stressed, but once they got in a tank and colored back up and happy again, they've got some really pretty colors. I did a live stream, the Monday stream actually. We did a tour of all the new fish, so feel free to check that out at some point as well if you want to see all of those.
Yeah, my video that I made of my box opening, all the fish looked like mosquito. mosquito fish or guppies because all their colors pretty much washed out.
Yeah.
But and that's why Jimmy likes to put that the bee footage at the bottom. It's like, ooh, I wish I knew how to make bee footage. That'd be cool. But nevertheless, so from there, oh man, let's just go through a list of things we got. I got some beautiful red Moscows that are incredible, but they're a reverse trio. So that means 2 boys and 1 girl. And I bought 2 bags, and I wish I would have bought 3. I wish I would have bought all 3. But
I almost got some of those until I saw they were reverse trios, and I was like, I don't know.
But you know what? They were only $10.
They were, but I had so much other stuff.
Yeah. So I took I took the 2 ugliest of the 4 boys and put them in with my Petco fish or Petco guppies, and we'll see if they can add anything to their line because they're just kind of blah. And then I got 2 or 3 bags of mosaics, red mosaics, even though they kind of look purple mosaic, but they're all really young, so I think once they get older they'll probably get brighter. I got 2 bags of Dumbo dragons, and they look very similar to Jesse's. I'm going to wait till everybody gets full size if I ever want to and compare them both, so I don't mess them up. That's the last thing I want to do is mess up the strains. I bought this one guy had like a million bags for 50 cents a piece of 2 random fry from his fish room, and they're all different types of guppies. And so I said I'll just buy them all for like $7. And so I've got a whole tank of guppies that are just fry, which are just going to be fun. Oh, and then I got a lot of goodies. I was able to get, oh, jeepers, the goodie that the fish tank barn gave me, and it turned out that they were 3 males, so I got some girls now, hopefully. There were 10 in the bag. They're all juveniles. Another goodie, I don't even know where it came from. It was just put in my bag of stuff. So
you got the one bag that I accidentally left in your truck, which had the red point that people are asking about, and then the barbs that went to Kaler's Aquatics, and the bag of goodies, because those were kind of like, there was 2 bags for 10 at the end, and I was like, well, I only want this one, but I guess I'll get the second one with the goodies in it.
So I ended up with 3 bags of that type of goodie. And I actually don't know if that's a true goodie. They're a Cuban fish. It's the Lemma tigers. I'm not for sure if that's a goodie or not. Lemia tigers. But they might be a goodie. So that's cool. And I don't know. Oh, I also ended up with like a bag of 10 purple mystery snails. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, you bought those on the live stream because I was like, Ed, you need mystery snails. It was the guy that had the mismatch, the 2 fry for 50 cents. Then he had like a couple little bags of mystery snails.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish I wouldn't have done that because I don't need them, but I did it. So now I got a bunch of purple mystery snails. Oh, there's my guy, Aquatic Aesthetics, Rob. That's my fish tank salesman. That doesn't make sense. My local fish stores, owner. He is amazing. And Bob bought a bunch of stuff from him today. Hopefully I'll get in there tomorrow. It's
got a really nice shop. I really want to get down there again sometime soon.
Oh, and his are from Haiti, so that's kind of cool. So, but I bought 3 of his females to put in with mine just because I really like how his look full grown. So I don't know what mine will look full grown because they're just all fries. But yeah, so, and then we went to LRB's. Oh, wait, why don't you say what you got? Or do you
Um,
remember?
I got 3 bags of the red mosaic guppies. I got another one. I can't remember what it's called, but it looks. It's got the coloration of an albino platinum, but it's got the markings of like a snake skin. So it looks like a mix between my pineapple snake skins that I have and my albino platinums. So
Oh,
I'm super
nice.
excited to see what those how they breed out. I got a dozen bettas from Aquatic Arts little section that they had there, and then I'm trying to think of what I got just at that place. Got the guppies, got the bettas, um, the bag of the limia that went home with you, which was like that was when I was like, "You've already got some here. Just take these. I don't have a tank anyways, specifically of those guys." Goodness, I got something else. I don't remember. That may have been it for the swap because I went through the first time and got a couple bags, and then when I went back through, everything was getting marked down. So a lot of it, I bought multiples of the same thing I'd already purchased the first time I walked through. So,
Yeah,
and
that's the
then
thing
the
is a
purple
lot of that
Moscows.
stuff
Yeah.
we got so cheap. I feel
Yes.
bad, but it worked out really well. So, oh, I also got a random fish. Somebody just handed me a random guppy, and I put him in the tank, and he died. So maybe that random guppy had been alive for a really long time. He said he got it as a fry, and it's just been in its tank forever, and he wanted to get rid of it. And yeah, I put it in with the Petco ones, thinking, well, just mix with those guys. Kind of look like a Petco one. And yeah, it fell over dead.
James definitely had the fever, says Gina French. Yeah, a little bit. I did really go nuts on the bettas that they had there, which I've lost a couple. Sadly, I don't know what happened to them. 3 of them, they looked fine. They made the journey fine. Got them in there, and then in the past 24 hours, I've lost 3 to like a, a bacteria or a fungus, and it just it's kind of like they're fine, and then 5 or 6 hours later, they're done. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. I'm trying to determine that, but still some absolutely beautiful, beautiful fish from them.
Well, I probably ended up with over 200 guppies and endlers. And then we went over to LRB's, and I bought 4 of his newest strand of endlers. He hasn't put them on video yet. He hasn't even named them. He has sold them. And so that was pretty exciting. He said, yeah, Ed, maybe you could like show them off and try to find the name for him. It's like, oh, that's so cool. And out of 4 of my fish that died, well, now 5 because that one died, that one boy. Maybe he was just in heaven seeing that many girls. But out of the 5 fish that died, one of them was one of those LRB females. It was like, oh, such a drag.
And then I got Bob saying beta viral attack. Possibly. Now, I do have them all in completely, like all my betas are in individual containers now, so they can't transmit anything to one another. So it's nothing that's spreading. So I don't know. I'm still working on that. But yeah, because I picked up, I can't even think of what LRB named them, but they're the strain that he talked about on his last Friday night that he hadn't even, like, he hasn't released them. No, not the Fire and Ice. I did get the Fire and Ice, but he named them Purple cool. Something. He was talking about them on his Friday night stream last week. He hadn't even put them on the site yet, so I had to get a pair of those, which actually I got a trio. So I got those. I was super happy.
And LRB's was so cool. His videos don't do his place justice.
They really do not.
I mean, when you watch him walking around, it kind of looks like, it could be somebody's basement or something, or, just fish tanks everywhere. He has white, beautiful carpet on the floors among the fish tanks.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I could just lay down and stare at fish on his soft, fluffy carpet. It was so awesome.
Apparently, a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Well, I think I said that, or James said that, and Bob Steamfawn, I guess, did that when he came to visit. So, but yeah, that was a really neat treat. I mean, just
Yes.
everything he does is really neat.
Somebody asked if they had missed a video of us at LRB's. No, we did not do any videos there. It was kind of one of those things. It was our first chance to go up there, first time, like for me to meet him. So we spent more time enjoying the fish room and talking to him and purchasing fish. But we will at some point go back. He said we're welcome to come back and do a videotape of fish room tour. So that'll definitely happen.
Yeah, and we didn't even ask. We just kind of hung out, and we ordered IHOP, and his wife's super cool. Haley was there. We just had a good time talking for late into the night. It was just a great time. Super cool. Oh, and his little boy, I met his little boy, and I said, "Hi, Wesley, you're famous." And he says, "I know." It was so cute.
It was awesome. What else? I thought was that all you got from LRB? I know that we looked at like a bajillion tanks, as Ed would say.
Yeah, I'm regretting I didn't get any of the fire and ice guppies because they were so cool looking.
Well, we'll talk about that after the stream. But so I got his new line that he was talking about on the Friday stream. I got a couple pairs of the fire and ice guppies because I've been dying to have those. I finally, and most of you all that have been around on my channel for a while know that how much I've talked about these. I finally got a hold of some LRB Blue Dream Neocardinas, the A-Team. I also got some of the his black line of Neocardina shrimp. And then, oh goodness, the Exodon Paradoxus, the Bucktooth Tetris, brought those home from LRB. And then like an entire tank of basically, I guess, of mutt guppies. He wanted the tank emptied out and he needed the tank for other things. So there must have been 120 guppies in that thing. So brought home a lot of stuff from there. It was just so awesome to just hang out, talk to him, enjoy his fish tanks, kind of see the way that he does things. Like Ed said, the his streams just don't do it justice.
Not at all.
So it was really amazing. It was one of those things that even though we spent a good bit of time just looking at tanks and talking to him, I know that we missed so much stuff. You can't take it all in because there's just so much awesome stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a photo of those guppies that they got. That was the photo I took because the tank LRB has his whole place maxed out. So I don't know. He might have 5 tanks high. Oh, yeah. I don't know. So LRB was up on a ladder, and James was holding. I don't know if you can see James's fingers at the bottom. He's holding this cup in the air like this.
Fish bowl.
As LRB would. Yeah, here's the.
Yeah, I when Ed was taking a picture, I'm like, we are not worthy. We are not worthy.
So that was pretty neat.
See, highlighted chat. James H says, Fisherman Fever at my LFS last week. I saw some blue sapphire Neocardina. Look like LRB's A-Team Blue Dreams 2 for $50. Oh my goodness. I mean, they're definitely really nice. I can't pay 2 for $50. I can't do that, but they're definitely beautiful. I was trying to see. I know I sent myself what he told me he named those things.
Your local fish
koi is what LRB has named that line that I picked up.
That's awesome. The local fish stores have to raise their price up some, if they're going to get it because they got to make a profit too.
Absolutely.
That's the bummer.
I just can't bring
necessity.
myself to pay that. I'm not saying that it's a bad price. I just can't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody has their limits on different things.
Yep.
I mean, maybe if they were zebra plecos, you could.
Very true.
So it's different for everybody. But yeah, it was just total blast. My only regret is we didn't eat at any specialty place when we were up there. I was hoping to have like some really good Italian or barbecue or something that I'm missing from down south, and we just didn't ever have time. We kind of drove.
Roxanne Powers says, my eyelids won't stay open. Thank you for the stream. Chattanooga Ed and Fish Room Fever. Good night, everyone. Roxanne, have a wonderful night. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Sand Creek Aquatics 2 says, in a 10-gallon tank, what's the max number of shrimp you can have, Fish Room Fever? A lot. A lot. Especially if you've got it planted and they've got a lot of grazing surface area. A ton. You're probably not going to overstock that thing.
Come on, man.
I'm not saying that you couldn't, but in terms of how many shrimp you're going to go out and pay for, you're probably not going to go out and spend enough money to overstock that thing.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll like form a colony, and I think I heard normally the max size that they'll get to is about 300, and then they'll like settle out, and so you won't get much more than 300 in standard 10.
If you start seeing the, like he's talking about, the colonies start to decrease, they've kind of reached their max capacity, and then you can kind of pull some and let them build it back up. William Pridemore says, Fisher Fever, I blame you for the fish I bought today. After talking to you the other day, I couldn't say no to the Senegal Bichers when I saw them again today. I absolutely love them. They are awesome fish, and I'm glad you got them.
Oh,
congratulations on that, William.
Yeah, man, I love Bichers. I've got 3 of them now. And I mean, I'm a guppy guy, but the Bichers are just, I don't know, man. They're just awesome. Yeah, I like how they walk around. They kind of just look at me like they're a frog or something. I don't know. It's just, they're cool.
They have really awesome personalities. I don't think they get enough credit for that. Everybody kind of goes straight towards like the Oscars or the large cichlids for being water puppies, but Bichers really can be water puppies.
Yeah, I'm just terrified that he'll bite me because he'll eat right out of my hand. Like if I'm using what's the little squeezy thing called?
The pipette?
Yeah, the pipette. He literally puts his mouth around the pipette and I squirt the shrimp right into his mouth, or the bloodworms, because he loves that. So, yep. Oh, Jesse even has one. That's awesome. Very cool. Doesn't surprise me. Jesse has everything.
Speaking of being bitten, the finger's doing really well. Miss Fever's saying I'm a mutant because I've completely filled in that chunk of skin.
Wow. Did you have a Band-Aid on it right now?
I don't right now. I've just got it.
Holy cow, that looks wonderful.
So I told her, I said, the trick is that I've been injecting myself with axolotl blood so I could grow my finger back.
Very cool.
It's doing well for everybody that had been worried about it. So
you should cut your brain in half and then grow 2.
Absolutely not.
No. Well, I was just throwing it out there.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll talk. How big is the super chat? I'm just kidding.
Oh, they also I bought rocks at that thing. That was at Aquatic Arts. They bought a bunch of rocks and they realized they don't want to ship rocks. So they were selling them for $2 a pound. And what they did is they went like this, and they said, this a pound. And I bought this stuff. Oh, it's not, you can't see the green.
You can't. It is so green in person. That shows up just kind of, but Fish Pappy, it is super, super green.
It's called green lace.
I'm sad I didn't get a hold of any, but I was so busy working on buying bettas that I just kind of, the opportunity eluded me.
It's very porous, though. I mean, I'm like shaking pieces off of it. But yeah, I cannot wait to put that in a tank. I'm going to make a special tank for Pam. It's going to be for a rice fish. And I think I'm going to put that in there with a jungle val.
Streetwise saying, tell me why I should or should not buy all of the tiny Dario from my LFS. I think you should, because they're an awesome fish and you want them.
Yeah, that's super cool. Okay, well, so I don't know if anybody has any other questions or if there was any questions, but total blast. If you guys if you guys have a local fish club around you or know that they're going to have something like this, I would definitely show up. I know St. Louis does one like every quarter, and they rent out, I think, the Holiday Inn. I'm trying to remember where. It's kind of near the airport. It's like Horn Street or something like that in St. Louis. I would definitely go. I haven't been in probably 10 years, And after seeing all that stuff, I want to go.
Yeah,
Next time they do one.
so we actually got to go to LRB's house twice. We went over there that night after the parking lot event, got to check out tanks, and then came back the next day to actually purchase our fish because it was late and we didn't want to ask him to be bagging fish up at midnight. So, and then we left out of town from there. We got to hang out with Haley Oddball Aquatics the first night we were over there. Poor Bob can't get his questions answered. I haven't seen anything highlighted. There's a lot going on. Hold on a second.
Man.
Message retracted. See, I saw where he said, I saw the message retracted.
Who are we missing? I'm sorry, somebody.
Bob, but I haven't seen anything highlighted from him. Then he said some of my LRB rainbows still amaze me. LRB's rainbow tank is gorgeous. We must have spent an hour just staring at his rainbow tank.
And yeah, and LRB even said that you were like one of the only people to have some of those in the world, or at least his, because he said he only sold it to you and like one other person. So that was pretty cool. So when he looked, he was thinking about you when he looks at those fish. That was kind of neat.
Absolutely. Mr. Fister saying, have you ever gotten those tiny looking flounder looking things? My local store has and don't know anything about them. It could be hill streams. It could be freshwater flounder. I'm not entirely sure. Axolotls Unlimited. I heard axolotl. Yeah, so I have 3 axolotls, but I was just making a joke about using axolotl DNA to heal my finger.
Oh, wow. Did you see what Tom said?
I see it now. Says, I know a few other breeders from the CCAC. You could probably tour when you come back to video LRB. Tom, that would be awesome. And we'd love to hang out with you again if you'd like to do that. We will definitely be back up there.
And Tom probably, I'm sure he knows a good Italian restaurant or a good barbecue place in Indy. So, Tom, we'll put that on you, and then we'll pay for dinner.
There you go.
If you take us, we'll pay. It's a pretty good deal, I hope. But yeah, it was a wonderful time. Had a lot of fun. And the only bummer was I was going to play games with Haley. That was one of our goals, and we didn't get to play any games. So I told her next time we come up, we'll make sure we play some games. Oh, and
when we're coming, is what Bob, I guess, had asked about.
Oh, I thought he was telling somebody else.
I guess he was asking us. I just keep saying seeing Honduran Red Point ? So I'm assuming that's what he was asking us about. But that guy's still hanging out at your house for the time being.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Bob yesterday told me it was a Honduran Red Point. When I was asking him, I asked him if he wanted it, and he said no, he didn't want one. So
yeah, I know Griff wanted it, but I'm not shipping it.
Yeah,
that's what I was like. You're welcome
Chris
to
wants
if
it
you want to pick it up. Yeah,
I've never really shipped a fish like that. And the poor little guy, he was so cute. I put him. He's in a 5-gallon bucket with an air stone, and I put a pot in there for him to go in. When I first put him in, he was coming straight up to the top, and I would, for feeding, and I dropped the lid of the feed, the cichlid reps pellets, and I smacked the thing with my hand trying to grab the lid, and he hasn't stopped hiding since. It's 2 days of hiding. So he's like, oh no, this human's not good. I feel bad. But, oh well.
So Katie was asking if there's a club here in Knoxville, a fish club. There is not, unfortunately. Not at this point. A lot of people have talked about starting up a fish club, but there's currently not one. So,
and we are starting one up here, which is cool. Kind of. It's a small club right now in Chattanooga. They mostly answer each other's questions and stuff on Facebook, and they're really helpful on Facebook with each other. But they get together once a month or once every other month. I haven't been to a meeting yet. It's terrible. Bob's been to a couple. Yeah, I know. Bob's been to a couple, but I don't think they have true meetings. I think it's kind of like a mini swaps.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd love to get a club going or have a club available. I mean, phrase it that way. I don't want to start a club. I don't have time to start a club. especially not moving into fish sales and stuff, and pursuing some other things. We'll discuss at a later date. Ain't nobody got time for that. Recon says Aquatic Marine's on my to-do list in the fall. Aquatic Marine is awesome. Recon, when you come down, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. Let me know, and I'll come up and check it out with you guys. Every time you go into that store, it's different. It's pretty neat.
He does a lot of, I don't want to say fixing up because that implies that it needs to be fixed. But he's constantly improving it. He's constantly adding awesome new things and just making stuff look better, being able to bring in more fish, better fish, and just awesome stuff.
Yep.
Like Candy said right there, it takes a ton of time to start one. Absolutely. You are 100% correct. And I don't have time to do that.
Bob said it was only one fish. I bet, yeah, he would have taken it if it was more than one, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I mean, there's no grievance or anything about you not taking it, man.
No, Miss Fever said before that we agreed to, before I agreed to take it, because the guy was just trying to find it a home. And we were on the live stream at that point. Miss Fever said it was compatible in her tank was the only reason we took it, just because the guy really wanted to get rid of it and wanted to have a home. So I was like, she said it'll work, so we'll take it back there.
But you know, it was almost completely out of water when I went and got it.
That's what you were telling me, yeah.
It was like in what you would see a betta come in, like, you know, to a store for the first time, because they barely put them in any water. That he was just like in a teaspoon or a couple teaspoons of water, and I just can't put my hand in there and pulled him out and put him right in, and he was good and a lot happier. And then I hit the tank, or I hit the side of the bucket, and he's terrified of me now. Oh well.
John Cox had a comment for you. He says, Chattanooga Ed, we can make a Tennessee club and move between Nashville and Knoxville to get enough to make it worth it.
That's originally what I had planned. That would be totally great. I would love that. And even if only the Knoxville people showed up their month and the Chattanooga people showed up on their month, at least people like you and I would go back and forth and enjoy both.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe we could do like a bi-monthly thing. So we, you know, even if it was just 3 times in Knoxville and 3 times in Chattanooga, and then maybe we could do something special in between or something. Like have a big meetup at a fish store or go to a show together, or, you know, like we could all go to the Guppy IFGA show in Murfreesboro. You know, we could just do all sorts of stuff. So
yeah.
That'd be fun.
My only issue with starting a club, aside from the time factor, is, of course, there's politics to it. You know, to have an officially recognized club and have the breeder programs and all that stuff and awards and points and all that, you have to make it official, which means you have to have a structured club, which means there's going to be politics, because there always is when you have, you know, a president or like a board or any of that type of stuff. And I don't particularly care to play that game. That's why I kind of like our fish tubers club, if you will, where we get together, because it's just, hey, if you want to show up, come hang out, awesome. There is no president or leader or anything like that. It's just a bunch of people hanging out looking at fishies.
And we do plan on, you know, we did our one meeting last year, or, you know, where we all hung out and had fun. We do plan on doing more of those. It's just the whole COVA thing ruined it for now. Yep. But we're going to get back on track. And that was John, right, that was talking about that? Because, John, you are definitely more than welcome to come hang out with us, too.
Oh, yeah.
And Katie, you know, we'd love to have you guys there. And, you know, if you guys want to get the Tennessee Mafia shirts also, that'd be cool, too. I just, you know, got to get everybody's names and sizes before I order them. But, yeah. Was it John Cox that was saying to do one between Nashville and Knoxville and Columbia?
It was. It was. I'd say it was highlighted to you, so it didn't pop to me. But yeah, and like John mentioned, I've met him before. He's done some trips here for his stepdaughter going to UT, so got to hang out with him and Aquatic Marine. Very, very cool. Bob's saying they don't have a board, just members. Now, will they let you do that and still be like officially recognized as a club where you can have the breeder program with the points and all that type of stuff?
I don't know if we'd have to like try to find out whoever's in charge of the global deal, or if it's a U.S. thing or a North American thing or what it is. But we'll have to try to find out. Now, there is a club, I think, in Clarksville, or not Clarksville, Cooksville, that started up. And I never checked it out, and I meant to, because the whole COVID thing, I think, pretty well shut it down. But they had one meeting. It was the same weekend as the one that was going to start in Birmingham. Ed, you should come and get some. I need to get some of that.
Absolutely. Heck, I may even drive down there and check out Bob's club.
Yeah. I want to go because I just keep forgetting. Well, I don't know if John Cox is might be closer to Cooksville. But
why not just go to all of them?
Yeah, well, and that would be the cool thing. Oh no, now I got another cat on me. See this tail? It's a short one. Now I got a cat on both sides. But
hey,
yeah, we else?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, go ahead.
Manes, Tails, Fur, and Fins is here. Says, how are the bettas doing? The bettas are doing wonderfully. I did post a video if anybody missed it. Manes, Tails, Fur, and Fins had actually reached out to us at one point when we were traveling down in Mississippi. Said that if we were down her direction, we could come check her place out and she'd give us a couple of bettas. We unfortunately did not get to go down and meet her, but she still offered to ship Ed and I each betta. And I couldn't help but purchase one as well from her website. So check that video out. Also, she will be the special guest this Saturday on the Saturday Night Fever stream, where we are kicking off the Meet the Members project. So she is a member on my channel. We're going to bring her on and talk to her, introduce her to you all, if you will, because we've got so many great channels, and I don't think everybody realizes how many other channels are out here, how many people in here are content creators. So that was kind of my give back to my members was, hey, let's bring you on, let's talk to you, see what you got going, and introduce the world to you, if you will, for people that don't know about your channel. But she had a really cool idea. She messaged me the other day and she said, why don't I give away a betta and a trio of guppies on the stream? So she will be giving away some fish on the Saturday stream. Be sure to check that out. Come hang out with Ed and myself and Manes, Tails, Fur, and Fins.
Yeah, that's super cool. I didn't say anything because I didn't know if we were keeping it a surprise. But thank you so much. It was so sweet of you. I haven't seen James yet to get my guy, but I'm setting up a neat home for him. So
I've been sending Ed pictures and keeping him updated.
Yep. Oh, and while we're talking about this, let's talk also about. Oh my gosh, help me with the month. Anabantoid month. Anabantoid month? Mm-hmm. Am I saying that right? Okay. And I'm sure you guys already know about the competition and everything. But we got, let's see, it's the 14th. We got half the month is over. And don't wait till the very end and forget, everybody. We've got a email that you can send your entries in directly. And we aren't going to go into all the details because I do that every week. You guys all know it by now. But let's hope maybe Zen Ginger will pop that. I know she just did the Manes, Tails, and Fur Fins, so she's awesome. And hi, Susan, the fish mom. She's got a little betta today that I saw a video, so she needs to submit a photo of that guy. But yeah, so that's all I'll say. And what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, Blake's Aquatics had asked if we were streaming up to a certain time tonight or just until we want to call it. I figured we'll at least do our standard 2 hours, which would be about another hour and 6 minutes. That way we can continue to push Ed's watch time up. We got to get this guy 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours so we can get him monetized. So we'll definitely be on for another hour and about 5 minutes. and we'll probably call it at that point.
Yep. We started early because Rack wasn't here. And we did mention, though, that next week we'll try to start at 10:30 unless Rack's actually, if Rack's there, then we'll just go right to a normal 11:30. But we just haven't known if Rack's going to be there the last 3 weeks, and he hasn't. So we'll just try it and see what happens. That way nobody's sitting around waiting. And Tom Patterson says that Haley's on the club board. She can get you some of the BAP and the HIPAA entry stuff. Awesome. And BAP is the breeding, and HIPAA, I think, is at the plants. I'm guessing that's plants. But it's to become a master plant breeder. Do you breed plants? Plant grower and a master fish guy.
Master aquatic horticulturist.
Thank you. Grower, I think. Oh, well, who cares? But thanks, man. Pat, or Tom, you're awesome. I almost called him Pat.
Candy says, I was told Rack won't be streaming Thursday nights anymore. That's what I'm understanding, but I texted him earlier. I want to talk to him personally before we just jump in his spot. Because, I came to Thursday nights almost a year ago now. I guess about 9 months ago. And we started at 12:30 at night at the very end of the segments, and then Multi-Tank Addiction moved his Thursdays. So we moved up an hour. But before we move up an hour behind Rack, I want to talk to Rack personally, and also just talk to John just out of manners, so to speak, to say, hey, if that's the case, we're going to be butting up to you. Does that sound good? Just that type of stuff. So, but plan next week for us to be on at 10:30, said unless Rack does stream. But otherwise, we're just going to plan to start going in that time and bump it up an hour. Yep. And we're going to talk about, Ed and I are going to talk about some stuff after the stream. So you may see some awesome Thursday changes, but just plan 10:30. You'll see one of the two, if not both. But there's some interesting things coming potentially.
Well, how about we talk a little bit about our betta walls?
Absolutely.
Okay. I've got everything but the plumbing now.
Good night, Susan.
Night, Susan. It was great seeing you. And hey, Lisa, glad that you joined us.
Hello, Devlin626. I don't think I've seen you before. Appreciate you being here.
Yep, Devlin. It's been a while. I think it's been a while for Devlin. Unless he's new and it's somebody else.
Might have been. Either way, we're glad to have you here. Glad to have everybody here. So.
Well, I bought a sump for it, and I'm just going to get the sump and show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to push my screen back just a hair so we got some more space. And I don't have the plumbing or the pump for the sump. That could have made a wrap out of that. Okay, it's right here. Oh gosh. Okay, it's too heavy to take or grab with my earphones on.
Don't leave for too long. Watch the cat will take his seat. I'll have a new we'll have a new host. Oh, look at Ed getting fancy here.
Okay, guys.
About Wednesday stream times. You can check the FishTubers notification on Facebook. You can also check fishroomfever.com. There's a stream schedule on there as well, in terms of who streams when for a standard weekly schedule. The finger is good, and then I'm going to hush and let Ed talk.
Well, I want you to talk some here too, because you're the expert on these things.
I don't know about that. I've done some, but I don't claim expert status.
Well, since I've done none, and I wish I could push it a little farther, but can you guys see baby cats like right here? And they're always in my way. But so this is the pump. What I'm going to do is this thing comes out and you can put like a floss in it or some type of a batting to kind of polish the water, to say, I would kind of, and it comes down and drips into here.
So I would use something that's a little bit more of a coarse pad. That way you're not clogging it up so quickly, since that's your first filtration point. So
Okay.
any big particles, you want to try and pull them out before you get to your fine polishing, just to help avoid clogging. Not that you couldn't run something fine in there, but it's going to need cleaning a lot more often.
Gotcha. Well, I thought I'd probably just use the... Oh, and the baby cat moved. So
I keep trying to adjust the picture by scrolling your picture, and I don't know why I keep trying to do that. I'm trying to look at the bottom.
Are we trying at the bottom of the tank?
You're good. I was looking to see how they had it layered out there.
Okay, so I've got a thing of egg crate that's a perfect square that fits right here. I took it out because it makes too much noise when I move it because it's squeaky. And that would be here, but I'd put bio balls in the bottom and then bio balls, just a layer of them right on top.
Yep.
So they're partially out of the water.
So basically you're doing the wet, dry trickle method.
Yeah. And then I've got one nice big block of foam that keeps the water from going quickly into the next sump.
Aquatic Aesthetics said, Ed, come see me about the plumbing. I forgot to give it to you.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. So that's cool. I thought I had to get more of that. So I don't know. Now, can I put pothos here or some type of plants?
Yep, you can. Just make sure that it's not going to, and it's unlikely that it would happen, but there is potential for the roots to grow up into your pump that you're going to have, your return pump. So just make sure that you have the, Deb, I'll answer that in a second. Just make sure that you have it where your roots don't end up growing into the impeller of your return pump.
Now, is the pump on this side or on this side?
Generally, it would be on your left in that big empty section because you're going to run it through your floss, through your wet, dry trickle of bio balls. It's going to come through that coarse pad, flow into the side that's on your left, and be returned upwards.
Oh, I've got this backwards too. It's got it. And Rob from Aquatic Aesthetics, he sold this to me dirt cheap. So I'm basically saying he's sponsoring my betta wall because I'm going to put his sticker on this thing and somewhere else on the betta wall. Yeah. And I'm going to be buying my bettas from him too. But, I mean, it's so cool. And then if I lose to James, I'll be buying another one to James.
You're not going to lose because I'm not competing. But right, real quick, let me answer this for Deb. We are not going to cross over KG Tropical Stream. What we would be doing if Rack is not going to stream and he is good with us, assuming his time slot, is we would be starting right after KG. So we would essentially just be moving up into his position where you could run from, which Corey hasn't been streaming lately on Thursdays, but if Corey does come back to Thursdays, Corey, then KG, and then us. It used to be a lot longer lineup on Thursdays. Every Thursday it was Corey, then KG, then Rack, then Multi-Tank, and then us. And then Multi-Tank backed out, so we moved up an hour. Because Chris and I both looked at starting Thursdays right at the same time, but he was smart enough to do a little quicker than I was, so I went behind him. And then we went to going directly after Rack, and then Corey kind of stopped doing the Thursdays as much. So right now it would be Thursday nights could potentially switch over to just KG and then us. I know that's horrible. I'm sorry that you have to deal with us, and not have everybody else, but we try and make it up to you.
Yeah, and we would never go over anybody on purpose. And we like John and Lisa a lot. They're our friends, and
absolutely,
we would totally respect them. But I once was talking to Chris, and I think he was talking about starting up earlier on Thursday nights. I need to talk to Chris and see if he wants to start doing that again, or if he was going to do that or what. But okay, nevertheless, so the tank is actually, all the hardware will be on the right side. Whoops. And it comes up on the left. But, I mean, this is just such a neat system. And I've never done it in my life, so James is going to help me a lot. And I'll buy James a betta just for helping me.
Oh, you don't have to do that, buddy. Yeah, Candy had mentioned, where was it? When Corey streams, it'll be Wednesdays or whenever he can fit it into a schedule. No, I completely understand that. Nothing. Didn't mean anything negative or derogatory towards Corey. I know he's busy, and I've actually been enjoying him doing the Wednesdays. I just hated to speak for him, not being, anybody to do so, and saying that he wouldn't do Thursdays. But if Candy says it, Candy knows what's going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Corey's the man.
Oh yeah.
So there we go. Now, let's see. I bet you it would be. There's like an extra flow here. Is that so it would fall into the return in case it overflows?
Let me uncover. Say that again.
One side of this box has like a slot in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's in case you would not put your batting in right. Boy, I need to hose this thing down really good and clean it up.
It's probably essentially an overflow slot. So if your media gets clogged up, instead of it backing up out of the top of the sump, it can go through that side slot and drain down.
Very cool.
Kind of like on your hang-on backs, you've got that little section in the center next to the pipe where if your filter media gets clogged, it can return back into the tank through that little center section versus overflowing out into the floor. Again, bear in mind that sumps are like anything else in the aquarium hobby. You can ask 20 different people and get 20 different answers on how you should set it up. But just going off of the general mainstream premise, if you will.
Now, on this side...
Katie, have a great night.
Oh, night, Katie. Can I use this as a secondary tank? Because I've seen people use...
I keep fishing almost all of my sumps.
That's neat.
You just want to make sure that it's not something that's going to get sucked into that return pump, or that you've got some sort of, you can either do foam around it. There are so many different ways that you can protect that return pump. But yeah, you most definitely could. A lot of it's going to depend upon how your water level sits. So once you get it running, we'll take a look at the water level, see where it's sitting, and see how much water you're actually, okay. So there we go.
Hopefully we'll get it to that line.
Gotcha. So now we know where it should be running.
Yeah.
You could do something. I mean, just keep in mind the size of the tank, of course, and something that you would put in that small of an area.
Yeah, that looks like 3 gallons. That doesn't seem like much. I was thinking maybe I could drop a crawdad or something in there. I don't know, or some type of filter eater or something. I don't know. I wonder if bamboo shrimp would enjoy that. You know how they have that little hand thing?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I'll also, because those little hang-on, the attaching lights that I have that kind of have the hang-on with the gooseneck?
Yeah.
I think I might put 1 or 2 over it and grow plants in there. Whoops.
You can most
The other cat just tried to jump up here and there wasn't enough room. So this is my awesome Aquatic Aesthetics sump. And I'm super happy, and I'm going to actually have... And then this will probably be doing... I've got... My bettas will be in 3-gallon tanks, and I'm thinking 12 instead of 15. Just because I think 12 fit under the lights better.
I got you. I think it's going to be awesome.
So I'm just going to set this down for 1 second. So I'm going to go deaf for a second.
All right, buddy. Now we can say mean things about Ed. He can't hear it. No, I'm just kidding. Only joking. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything highlighted because I had to move my chat. Blake mentioned investigate getting in on that. Moving behind us possibly. I'll see. We've also got is it Dave that streams behind us on Thursdays?
Yes, Dave is awesome.
So Dave might want to move up an hour as well. And see, this is where you get into the politics of all of it. it can be interesting. And then like Bob says, well, maybe Chris wants to stream in rack slot. This is where you get into the politics of all of it, and that's where I'm going to leave it at that. We'll leave the rest of it off of the live. Hey, Lefty3213 says, sorry I'm late. Welcome, and thank you, Zen, for posting the Aquatic Aesthetics website. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Pugs. Let the viewers decide. But I've been holding this slot Thursday nights, late night, for a very long time. So
It's kind of like when Dave Letterman thought he was going to get Jay Leno's spot, and then they gave it to Jay. Right. So Dave left to a different channel.
Fight to the death, says Blake's Aquatic. Yes. It's whoever can eat the most Vegemite straight from the jar in one sitting.
Now, you see, food challenges, I normally win, but I throw up afterwards. But I can hold the stuff in my stomach long enough for it to count. So I'm not going to just barf before it doesn't count.
John Cox says, I prefer glass myself, as every acrylic tank I have had got scratched so easily. Yeah, I've dinged up some acrylic myself. Unfortunately, I'm sure it's one of those things, if you're accustomed to having acrylic all the time, you get used to not dinging it up or paying that extra attention. But given that just about everything I have is glass, I don't usually pay the extra attention enough to not ding up the acrylic, sadly.
Did I miss something about acrylic?
Yeah, there was a comment. John Cox said, I prefer glass myself, as every acrylic tank I have had got scratched so easily.
That's cool. Well, I guess Bob Kaler's made me become an acrylic guy, because my first acrylic tank was the round one that we got. Let's see.
Whoever can keep their hand in the Exodon tank longer. Hey, I'm willing to go with the Piranha tank. Been there, done that.
This is my first acrylic. And then Bob and I just bought some big acrylic tanks that are dividers.
Those are
from
really
Aquatic
cool.
Aesthetics.
I'm looking forward to a video about that, Ed.
Well, that's not going to be until probably next month, because I need to get everything done in the fish room right now for Daniken. And then hopefully I can start working on the betas on Sunday, the beta tanks.
Absolutely.
And then once the beta tanks are done, then I'll work on the acrylic tanks. But I'm going to leave the dividers in. I don't know. Did Bob say he was going to leave them in or take them out? I know he had a video. I want to watch it.
So Recon's got a good question. Says, Fisherman Fever, do you feed fish in sumps, or do they just eat what comes through the water flow? So I feed them. Ideally, where you've got the fish at the sump, everything's already been filtered out clean, so there really shouldn't be a whole lot for them to eat once the water's getting to them. So I do feed my fish that I have in the sumps, because generally speaking, there shouldn't be anything making it through the 3 to 4 levels and layers of media that I have doing the filtration process. It should just be good, pure water that's getting to them. They would be at the starting point of the clean water process in the filtration cycle, if you will.
Mr. Fish Sir, Brad, asked for an outdoor tub update, Ed. You know what? I have 2 outdoor tub videos that I just need to do the final touches on and put those out. That's terrible. I did one on how I made a net for the top of my tubs, because one day I was outside. I was cleaning fish tanks outside, and I looked up, and there were 12 big dragonflies flying over my swimming pool. And so I ran and threw the bird netting over my tanks, and I've never seen them since, but it was still enough to scare me. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I just used 2x4s to hold it down, and that looks junky. So what I've done is I've bought some PVC and made a lid for them, which is kind of
nice. Very cool.
And so I just wanted to do something different like that. And I want to make it so next year I plan on doing more tubs, because, man, I love these things. They're awesome. And, I don't know what Bob just said. But, so, and then I I also made one. What was my other one? Oh, the one that you had to help me video or edit.
Yeah.
I had James help me edit one because I messed up some of it and I didn't know how to edit right. And I just need to put basically a thumbnail on it and put that out. So I actually have two ready. I just need to make it.
Yep, I understand. I think I've got 3 in the can that I need to just put out there. People asking about Vegemite. Flavor of the day, Pugs Tanks. I don't even know what I've got in here. I filled this thing up several weeks ago. I don't use it very often, but I've been smoking a lot more, and of course I don't smoke on the stream here, so that's the replacement. So I honestly don't know the flavor. Dragonfly nymphs are literally Satan. Yes, Devlin, I agree with you 100%.
In my whole life, I have loved dragonflies because they eat mosquitoes. And somehow my mortal allies become my mortal enemy. I don't know. It's sad. You know, in the South, well, the deep South, like Mississippi, they call them mosquito wolves. And I just love that.
Dude, that sounds cool.
So cool. I know. Yep. So
Chevy Fishing, why not in Wyoming? Welcome, Hattrick Farm. Hello. Good to see you. Dragonfly nymphs are bad news. You'll notice your fish are gone before you notice the nymph got it. Yeah, I've had that happen before when I made the stupid mistake of bringing them inside. That's one of those, hey, Guppy Shack. One of those things that's just a dumb novice fish keeper move that, you know, people say, well, what's one of the stupid things you did? Bring in dragonfly nymphs.
And I mean, those things can live up to 3 years in the water. So I imagine the 3-year ones are probably the really big dragonflies, the ones that you really love. So I'm figuring if they're dropping their eggs now, they would just be little bitty nymphs, probably only able to eat my fry by the time I pull. They won't be able to kill my adults. But I'm going to make sure that I treat all my plants because I'm also growing a lot of plants out there, and I plan on bringing the tubs into the basement,
right,
and putting lights over them and saving my plants.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get some of that mosquito bait. I forgot what it's called. I know I've taken a photo. Somebody had a good website about this mosquito bait that you can throw in there and it kill it all.
Bob says he messaged you for later, Ed. Recon's asking, are we talking about just regular old dragonflies or something different? I've had dragonflies land on me before, never been bit on. So we're not talking about the actual dragonflies in and of themselves. We're talking about their babies. If you've ever seen people, like I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, people post, what's this alien in the water or alien bug in my fish tank? And they're dragonfly nymphs. And they're really funny. They do look like little water aliens, but they are absolute monsters at devouring fry. Like you might as well just put a convict cichlid in with your guppy fry. You're going to have about the same result. It's just going to demolish it.
Yep, I'm trying to find. I know that when I did like enemies of the tub video that we did or live stream, I saved photos of dragonfly nymphs. And let's see if I can find one. I don't know. Probably can't. I take too many photos. I got like dozens of photos. Oh well. Just check it out on Google. Google it. It's worth it. Bob had some crazy ones. Some type of fly that was in his tank too earlier this year, and I don't even know if my netting would keep those out. The neat thing about dragonflies is they can't really fold their wings to get through the holes, so I'm keeping it about 5 inches above the water, and they won't be able to reach. Their tail has to reach the water for them to lay their eggs. They aren't just going to drop their eggs in the air.
These are what we're talking about. Actually in the water in your tank. Ugly little boogers. Pull that off there.
They look like giant termites.
They do. They do, come to think of it. So, all right, get my chat back up here. See what we got going on.
Hologrammets? Am I saying that right? that Bob had.
Mm-hmm.
Gramites.
Yeah.
I need to look those up because Bob doesn't have any problems with the dragonflies, which is cool, but he had those things, and I don't know how bad they were. Still scary. Yep.
Huh.
Sorry.
So, no, you're good. That's a good idea. Somebody's probably tested, I would say. Zen Ginger said, "Ooh, I wonder if putting out distraction tubs that are easy for the dragonflies to breed in, away from your main pond, could deter them from trying to get into your main ponds."
Yeah, well, what I was doing is I was keeping like 2 10-gallon tanks out there, and I was basically just growing mosquito larvae in them, and then I was dumping it into my ponds. But that'd be a heck of a thing if I would have dumped dragonflies into my ponds.
Yeah.
So, but before then, I never saw any dragon, and I haven't seen any dragonflies since. So it was kind of weird. It was just this big swarm of them that was going by. But yeah. So, but I stopped dumping the mosquitoes, and I would also forget about it, and I was growing mosquitoes, and that's kind of gross too.
Yeah, been there, done that. I actually took some of those LRB mutt guppies that I brought that whole tank back and tossed about 18 or 20 of them out in a tub outside, a small tub, compared to what a lot of people have got set up. But I set up my trailer trash tubbing unit. So I got me some totes outside and some stuff going there. We'll see how that goes.
You know, I don't want to change the subject, but I do real quick because I haven't seen Peppling Creek for a while. Is he still here? I hope he is.
55 people watching.
That's awesome, guys. Well, and I don't want to scare anybody off, so I'm going to go real quick with this one thing, and then we'll go right back to talking about fish. We want to do a fantasy fish the Fish Fam Fantasy Football League. Wow, that's a lot of F's. That was tricky. And I've got Danikin, I've got Big J, I've got, pretty sure Peppling Creek wants to do it. Was John Cox? Did you want to do it? I know that I've got myself, Alien World, Scott, and that's what I mentioned earlier, and Paige both love football. So I think we've got at least 7 people already. We'd like to get to 10 to 12, even 14 maybe. So if you guys are interested, you can maybe was Peter interested? The Guppy Guru? I don't know. Nevertheless, go and text me your email to my Facebook page. Like, what's the messenger thing called?
Just Facebook Messenger.
Yeah. Text me your email to that, and it'll be on Yahoo. And then I'll put everybody's names in, and we'll set up a date. We're going to try to do a live draft when Danikin is here in town. And, we'll just maybe we don't know if anybody else wants to watch it, but we'll go live, and just the 10 of us can be on here, and we'll go type it in our own computers, but then we can also talk and be goofy. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Very cool. The Chubby Guppy, hey, how are you? Yeah,
Chubby Guppy.
I didn't know that Scott had talked to you already. He messaged me. He said, "Hey, you interested in fantasy football?" And I'm like, "Not really my thing, but you should talk to Ed." And he's like, "Oh, I just talked to Ed." I was like, "All right, cool." So,
yep. Oh, and who else was I think, Aquamate was, he said that Aquamate wanted to play. So I need to get Aquamate's email so I can get him in there. So that's pretty cool since he's a San Francisco guy and I'm a Chiefs guy.
yeah. I mean, Kenny's got the Vikings taken care of, so no, I think that'll be fun. And I do think it's neat that we can get together and do some things that are not necessarily fish related with people that also enjoy, fishy things. It's always a blast.
Yeah, and John says he doesn't want to play football, but he can check out the stream, and that's totally cool. Because we'll just be a bunch of goofballs, I'm sure, making fun of each other. It's the one time that I might rip people and be mean because it's fun. I'll probably buy wings and beer.
Let me ask you this, Ed. I did, after visiting Lucas's house, I did reset a lot of tanks this past week. I needed to reset them anyways, but I found myself kind of drawn to the way he has his setup. Mr. Fish Sir says, like Beard Nation. So yeah, shout out to Mr. Fish Sir. He was the only person that showed up for the stream on my other channel. It's not for everybody, but I had a lot of people ask for the stream. I did one, and Mr. Fish Sir hung out with me the whole time. So shout out to you, Brad, for that.
Oh, wow. I need to check that out.
But I digress there. So like when I got back, when I was resetting tanks, I kind of felt myself, I guess you could say, being influenced by the way Lucas has his setup. I really love, it's obviously proven what he does works. Now, keep in mind, I'm still running sponge filters because I don't trust myself enough to maintain the tank at this point safely for the fish, not having the experience that Lucas does. But,
Lucas has amazing people go into his fish room. It's crazy he let two schmucks like you and me in there.
I know, right? So, and just like the Exodon Paradoxus tank that I set up, I tried to mimic kind of how he had them set up at his house to make them feel more comfortable. So I went with like a mixed sand substrate for that. And then I put some Val in there. I didn't have the same plant he had, but he had a lot of plants that were stemmy growing up to give them kind of a jungle to swim through. So I tried to mimic that in their new tank.
Well, he claims, and it's pretty hard to dispute what he says, that the air filters or the air bubbles actually distract the fish when they're trying to breed. And in the wild, they don't have the air. He didn't say that to us while we were there. I've just seen enough of his streams to know that's his beliefs. And, and Corey's been to his house a couple of times, and Corey thinks it's amazing, and he doesn't trust himself to go without air. The only person I know that's gone without air is Amber. And Amber's doing an amazing job. She's super awesome with plants and stuff. But Amber's the only other person I've seen that it's not that we aren't believing him. It's we don't believe in ourselves.
That's what I said. I 100% trust what he's doing in his method. I don't trust myself at this point to not have the familiar setup. And again, that goes back to change. We get comfortable with whatever situation we're in, whether it's for better or worse. And change is a scary thing. So a lot of times we would rather stick with something that's not as good as what we could be doing because we're familiar to it and we don't want to change. We're afraid of what change might bring, the unknown, what might happen, what might not happen. But I do have one, maybe two tanks that are without air right now. So I'm giving it a try. But I definitely kind of mimicking his substrate setup a little more with how I'm setting things up. So that should be fun. Candy said Zen may not, where was it? Your beard game may be weak, Zen. So just to clarify, it's not going to be just about beard talk. Now I do plan on having a guy on that he's got his own product line of beard care products. So I'm hoping to have him on and talk. I'm kind of helping him set up his YouTube. But it's going to be everything from motivational talk, because I do get people that ask me about this stuff. I don't think I'm some sort of genius, but motivational talk, a lot of the stuff I used to do on here with like helping people set up, like lighting or, getting started with streaming. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over on TikTok that are trying to go on YouTube, don't have a clue. And so now I'm doing a lot of consulting, if you will, on setting up people streaming. And helping them set up YouTube channels and stuff. And I miss doing that type of stuff. I used to do that with you all the time. So it gives me some freedom to talk about things not fish related that we used to talk to, and some things that we don't dive into. There won't be politics talk, not because I'm afraid to talk politics. I just don't care enough to have that conversation, and it's not something that I see any validity to if you and I don't agree on something, us talking about it's not going to change either of our minds more than likely. So that'll be the one thing that's out, and it's not going to be like super profane, if you will. So it's not going to be, anything violent or aggressive or anything like that. But it'll be a lot more open. So just so you know, it's not just for bearded people; it's for anybody.
John Cox, not to try to change the subject, but John Cox brings up when you're collecting native fish, there's lots of bubbles and stuff in the streams that's already gone. But and now Lucas he does have flow in some of his tanks for those type of fish. And like while we were there were rainbows literally laying eggs while we were there. And he has a lot of flow in those type of tanks. So yeah, the Exodons, I think, didn't he have water flow? I think he had
I honestly don't remember. I feel like he did, but I don't 100% remember for sure. I don't. I know he didn't have any type of air in there because I brought in my aquarium co-op bucket setup where I've got my mini USB pump rigged into the airline for travel. And he said, they're not going to know what all that noise is with this air pump running in this bucket.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I said, Amber's the only person that's done it. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that have, they're just not showing it off. But this tank has no air. I've never added air to my 200. The canister is all underwater, and that's all I have is a canister flowing. So, I mean, it's completely silent.
The one thing I still, and I would get used to it, but the one thing I hadn't gotten used to was the protein buildup that you get on the surface without airflow. You get that film on the surface. It would take me a little while to get used to having that on there. But other than that, there's not really a downside to it.
Yep. Well, he even made fun of somebody that had thicker protein skin than he did. That was one of his conversations. I don't even remember who it was or who was talking about it. He couldn't believe that somebody had a thicker one than him. Oh, God. Oh, well. It's just bizarre stuff you hear. But, yep. So, where, sometimes bubbles are good, but most of the fish he's doing are all, I think, pond type fish or things that would be in really low water that he's breeding. Because I don't think he actively breeds his rainbows at all. Because he was just letting the eggs being eaten by the other fish. He wasn't even attempting to take those out. So basically, he was doing the no flow for all of his, I think he had tetras he was breeding, all the live bears, and the shrimp.
And there were so many tanks. It was so much to try and take in. What's this? What's this? What's this? What's that? Oh, look. It was
and he had lots of different catfish, too. Yeah, his Synodontis tank is so amazing in real life. It's so good. It's awesome. I want to set up a tank like that.
Yeah, Recon, I did change the name like Mr. Fisher said, just so it's not so... it doesn't scare people off because that's not going to be the focus, if you will. So yeah, same channel, changed the name. Kaler's Aquatics says Corey Going is what got LRB noticed and his channel grew quickly. So there you go.
Yeah,
a lot of it's got Lucas awesome. Through Corey. Yeah, and I love the rabbit hole that you can go down on FishTube. If you find one person and then it leads to another person and then that person tells you about this person, and it's awesome. It's amazing all the wonderful circles of fish tubers that there are.
Yep. Well, I found through LRB Holly, Pam. Through Pam, I found Bob. Through Bob, I found you. It's neat. And I would see Pam and LRB's, and she would super chat, and I was like, yeah, I got to check out this Punchy. What was her name?
54 Punchy, the art of fish
54 Punchy. I remember saying, I got to check this guy out. He must be pretty cool. He knows a lot. And then it was Pam, and she was awesome. So, Yeah, I met a lot of people through Pam's live stream. So that way, you know, the neat thing about the live stream is everybody can sit here and talk and really get to know each other so much better. It's I love
Absolutely.
the live streams.
Videos are fun, but live streams are really the community builder, if you will. Videos may be the more informative side because you've got this library of information that's available at any point. But the community building aspect, I really feel, comes from the live streams. Because, I mean, let's be honest, how many of us would really communicate with each other if we didn't have live streams and we were just all watching the same videos? You know, maybe overlapping comments on videos. Some of us might spark conversation, but not to the extent of community that we have. John Cox says, I found Corey, and that led to KG. KG led to Rack, and Rack led to this stream, which is my fave. LOL. Well, John Cox, thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Glad to have you here. Yeah, it's just wonderful the way that the community works. I absolutely love it. Folks, Tank says, I removed hang-on backs and added air stones. Very low setting. Going to pull those out. I love the plant ideas to create oxygen. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I've got most of my tanks so heavily planted that I could do the LRB method, if you will, and just not have anything going in them. Again, that leads back to me and my comfort level and my trust in myself, if you will. I would rather have the filters on there just as a fallback. They're a crutch almost at this point, if you will.
Yeah, I want to get enough plants to cover all my tanks. LRBs were amazing. I mean, there was literally spots where it's a 20 long, and the fish had like 2 gallons of water to swim in. I mean, the fry could get back into all this stuff, but all the adults were like right up at the front. And you're saying, oh, that's not much room. These were inlers, so they were just little bitty guys. But so cool. And I'm gonna do. Boy, that's pretty. I took a really pretty picture of a flower, and I never posted it.
Streetwise, we enjoy talking to you as well. Bob Kaler Squatic saying Ed Rainbow spawn every day. It was pretty awesome to watch it because he had the oh Lord, trying to think what's the word I'm looking for here. The tank boss, if you will, had his own little side of the tank, and he got a female over there. And then as soon as the eggs hit, all the other rainbows just rushed in, and that head male was just the alpha male was just trying to dominate them out of that corner. But they were just shooting in from every direction, eating those eggs up.
Oh, I was going to show a quick peek of my fish room from 2 days ago, but I've got one that was from 3 days ago. Here we go. It's getting there, guys.
It looks so nice. I've been enjoying the video updates you've been sending me.
I've got a lot of green, but I need more green. I plan on going to my pet store tomorrow and seeing if Rob's got any more moss. Or I really need stuff that, fry can get lost in. I got a lot of val and swords and things like that, but I'd like to get more mosses. And I've got guppy grass in this room. And I've got water sprite in this room, which I don't have any water sprite in that room. So I could always move water sprite, I guess. But this is my wall of live bears. And I still have like 4 more tanks of live bears to go. And then I think I'm going to order a couple online
to
fill it out.
It has too much empty space in the middle, says John Cox.
Well, in the middle, I'm going to have a poker table, and I'm going to be videotaping from the middle. Like when you see the corner, right? Bam, right there. That's where my back will be. So the tanks will be on both sides. And then I've got a puffer on one side. I was going to put these lockers that I got from work a few years ago, and I wanted to keep fish supplies in the lockers. But I left one of the doors open, and a bird made a nest in the top thing where you put your hard hat in. And so I've been waiting for the babies to fly off. So that's slowing me down.
Aquatic Aesthetics says, I've got Christmas, Spiky, and Weeping Moss. Fish Dream said, I could send you some moss, Chattanooga Ed. And we had a question as to why you're not streaming there now. That was from Streetwise, which Candy replied with the no Wi-Fi in there yet.
Yep.
Hopefully next week, maybe.
Yep. Hopefully, I'll be able to figure out how to wire it. I bought 100 feet, so it will go. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi. I don't know if you guys. I can't really see my photo of myself. Okay, this direction in my house, the Wi-Fi is upstairs, but I've got a stupid fireplace that goes right through the middle of my house. So I've got one down here and then like an opening upstairs. The Wi-Fi is upstairs. Somehow between these stairs, right, there's stairs behind here, and the bricks from the fireplace, I get no Wi-Fi in that corner of the house. I get it in that area. I get it in my backyard towards the pool. All the way. It's just that one area. I get nothing.
Well, plus
and then it's not going to.
All those boxes of water are also going to help block signal as well.
Yeah. So now they're all on the exterior walls, but the wall on this side, like if this is the room, the door's here, the fish are all along this way, you know. Well, this wall will have my Beto wall, and then I think I'm going to make a giant Shelly tank on that wall.
Sean OOTD will like that.
Yep. So that'll be fun. And then I'm also going to have maybe a cabinet or something for helping me with breeding projects.
You're a better man than I am. I couldn't help but run a row of racks straight down the middle of that room if it was me.
Yeah. Nope. I'm making it just a big fun. It's also going to be where I'm going to play board games. You know, I'm going to have a poker table in there so I can actually have friends in and play games.
Yeah, Devlin, you're absolutely right. Devlin mentioned, just want to point this out because I find it really impressive. A channel having 500 subscribers and 50 current viewers is insane. A 10% reach for a live stream is really high. Yeah, normally your live stream reach is going to be something like 2.5 to maybe 5 if you're awesome. But fortunately, we were able to bring all of these wonderful people over. And this is kind of why we switched. We used to be on my channel, and I got monetized, so we want to build Ed's channel. So we just switched the same show over to his channel. And we're hoping to get him built up. I think he's at 511 now. So, but we're also building his watch time. That's the big thing, is we need to get him his watch time. So we appreciate all of you being here. 49 watching and 65 thumbs up. We appreciate that, because this guy pointing the wrong way. Whatever. This guy is awesome. Normally I'm good at that. I just screwed it all up though. Is awesome. And he definitely appreciates our support. Yeah. So
it's weird because everything's opposite of what you're looking
Shame
at.
on you. There we go.
But yeah, I really appreciate that. And I really enjoy everybody here. It's so much fun. You know, I kind of like to keep it just always, you never know what you're going to see on my show. You know, like Candy said, is it going to be crafts? Next week, I've got something special in mind. If Danikin's not here, which would be special, I will be making something live again. And that's all I'll say.
Are you going to give me a heads up this time so I can participate?
Yeah. Hey, you can come on down.
Because last time he did arts and crafts, he didn't tell me ahead of time. And I'm like, I could have been doing this too.
Yep. And it will be under that category.
There we go.
So
Bob's setting up a 4th rainbow tank. They are awesome. Yes, they are.
Bob, I want to do that.
I was going to show you on here, but it really won't come across the camera as well. So I'll post a little video snippet on Instagram. I got some really awesome footage of his LRB's rainbows while we were down there. Yeah, James didn't get to play, says Candy. Yeah, I didn't get to play. I was sad. I didn't get to try and beat the kids in that competition. So.
Yeah, I need to go back on there and see if they ever posted my picture.
Maybe you won. When's the
Maybe I should
actual
check
draw?
my email. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Golly. Oh.
That's it, Lefty. He didn't want me competing against him.
Yeah.
We both could have won.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, yeah, so I'm going to be making, let's say it'll be interior design for the fish room.
Ooh.
Or exterior design. Depends on how you look at it. So, yeah, that'll be cool. But yeah, James, you're more than welcome also to just come down. You know, if you want to spend the night, I'll buy you donuts in the morning.
I do like
We have an
donuts.
awesome donut place here in town.
He tells me that, but he's never taken me to get donuts as many times as I've been down there. He's even said before, we'll get donuts in the morning, and then I don't get a donut. And I'm sad for the next 7 hours on the car ride. I'm like a puppy with the window rolled up.
Well, somehow we always end up going by Burger King.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens. Oh well. Nevertheless. I keep saying nevertheless.
Never.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be fun. So yeah, I'll plan on that for next week. And then we'll also, that'll be in the fish room, we'll show you the progress I get done with the betta tanks, because I'm going to do it all in the same room. That'll be cool.
Kenny says you owe me some donuts. I'd even be willing to pay for the donuts. I just need to get him to actually drive to the donut place.
It's the most bizarre donut place. It's called Master Donuts, and it used to be a Chinese restaurant, and it's like they've left the Chinese look in there. Like on the counter, you look by, they've got this giant jade frog with a cabbage on its head and a coin on its tongue on top of the thing where you have to buy the donuts. You have to look underneath the jade frog. And then they got some other Chinese things. But I think that I know they're Hispanic people. So they came, I know she said she came from Texas and had a donut shop in Texas and decided to move here because there wasn't as many donut shops to compete with. And it was like, I win. But it's just bizarre that she bought a Chinese restaurant and kept the decorations, the Chinese decorations in the donut shop. It's just fun.
That sounds interesting. Now I'm really looking forward to it. Tell you, one of the neat things about there are a lot of neat things about hanging out with Ed, but one of the cool things is as you're driving down the road, he knows, he's like, and he'll give you information about like all these different places you're passing. He'll be like, and this is that, and this is a good place, but and this happened here, and it's a informative car ride with him. It's always a blast.
Yeah, Lefty says he wants a giant jade frog. It probably means something, I'm sure. I want one of those cats that has the little arm that does this. They're gold and they're like smiling. There was a Chinese restaurant in Missouri that sold those, but the food was trash. I ate it once and it was so greasy I never went back in, but I wish I would have to buy a cat.
Zen says I'm about to get nicknamed Darth Vapor.
That's awesome.
Pugs Tank says Chattanooga Ed tour guides coming soon? ?
No, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Or would you like me to come tour you?
There we go.
Where is Pugs? Where's Pugs live? Don't give us your address, just your hometown. Unless you don't want to give that either.
Yeah, no address reveals midstream.
We know his last name is Pugamus. And he shortened it to Pugs, I think.
Oh goodness. Scott's Aquatics, hello. Good to see you. I saw you earlier, but I don't think I got to say hello to you when you came in. Make sure you didn't miss anybody else. Guppy Shack. I believe I said hello. If I did, hello again. And if not, sorry I missed you earlier. I think we've got about 12 minutes or so, and then we're going to wrap it up. I believe Blake's going to premiere a video, and then we'll have Dave's Aquarium Thoughts live stream. So if you've got any, I like that 123 Fake Street, Springfield, USA. There you go.
Hey, he's from Houston. James and I are definitely got Houston on the map for going to hang out. For sure.
Yep. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, we'll have to do like a big barbecue hangout. And notice I enjoy eating fun stuff. So find a fun place to eat and then a cool fish store to go hang out at. Maybe we could, probably do the fish store afterwards in case we buy fish. We don't want them to heat up in the car.
That's one of those things. If you can lure us there with interesting food, that's a pretty good way to get us It's like, you've got what? Yeah, let's go try that. GRB Aquatics, his best fish room tour I've seen was James's young bloke giving Bob Kaler a tour of FRF fish room. Yeah, that was a fun one. I think Bob took that one down, if I'm not mistaken. Bob, you can correct me. I know at one point I looked for it and I couldn't find it. But that was interesting because he's walking Bob around telling him about all the fish. Now, if Ed doesn't do it before then, for the 1 year anniversary of the channel, I will be doing a fish tour update. Since that was the first video I put out. Things have definitely changed a lot since then. So if it doesn't do one prior to that, then you will. Actually, I'll probably still do one anyways, just so I'll have one on my channel. We'll do a 1 year update so we can see how things have progressed. And I'll know how to do longer videos. The very first video I did, I filmed it and I didn't realize there was a 10-minute timer on the phone as I was filming it because it was set up in 4K. And so I looked down and it's like, the first time I did it, I did get all the way through it, and then I couldn't figure out how to get past the timer. So I'm looking, it's like 9 minutes and 47 seconds. So I just real quick, I'm like, okay, there's the last of the tanks. Bye, everybody. Now I can actually do a legitimate tour. So it'll be a little bit better than that original video I released.
John Cox is telling me about the barbecue wings. I have been there in Murfreesboro and had the baked potato, the barbecue baked potato, and it was crazy good.
I actually lived in Murfreesboro for a very, very, very brief time years ago.
Now, is there 2 or 3 pet stores in that town?
I'm sure John can tell us.
Yeah. I was trying to find them, but the traffic in that town, that's like a suburb of Nashville, and I think everybody that works in Nashville that doesn't live there lives in Murfreesboro. I couldn't believe how hard it was to get anywhere in Murfreesboro because there's like a bajillion cars everywhere. But yeah, it seems like a pretty cool town.
Yep. You've got I've got family that lives in Murfreesboro and then Smyrna, which is not too far away at all.
That's awesome.
GRB very briefly spoke on it. GRB was asking if I've mentioned the other channel, Beard Nation. Very, very briefly spoke on it. You probably won't even be able to find it if you search it because I think I've only got like 25 subscribers on there. But that is the other channel for anybody that was curious. GRP's got it right there. Let's see. Kaler's Aquatic says, "Oh wow, Ed, I can't believe you haven't had him to the donut place yet." Yeah, I know he's talked about it, Bob, but he always teases me. He's like, "Oh, and the donut shop's that way, but we're going this way."
I'm sorry, Bob. Next time you come into town too, I'm going to take you. But I took Bob to my favorite restaurant in the town. Yeah, I took him to my town. It's just bizarre because we have so many restaurants for having such a small population. I'm just north of Chattanooga, and it's a fishing tournament town. So it's like people come in on the weekends by the hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know. Lots of people come in fishing every weekend. Well, we've got probably 15 hotels in my town and probably 30 restaurants. And we've got about 6 Mexican. Actually, we have 7 Mexican restaurants because a new one just opened up. I have to try it. But I've made my favorite Mexican restaurant hands down. And I took Bob there, and it was a lot of fun. We almost went again, but he had Rico, I think, with him. Somebody. He had one of his puppies.
Just a friendly reminder. Dave says, "So you've been lying to us? You're not really from Chattanooga."
What? I moved to Chattanooga, lived there for about 1.5 years looking for a house. And so, yeah, I guess I kind of lied to you. I'm not even from Tennessee. My accent kind of gives that away.
So I do want to remind everybody, if you weren't in here when we talked about it earlier, on the Saturday Night Fever stream on my channel, we're going to have special guest Mains, Tails, Fur, and Fins, and she is going to be giving away a betta and a trio of guppies from her website, mainstailsfurandfins.com. So I think that's going to be awesome, and I think that, yes, I am technically a Florida man, but I've lived in Tennessee more than half my life at this point, which is where I got that deep southern drawl, y'all. But so be sure Saturday you come hang out. check out Mainstails Furs and Fins and enter to win some fishies.
Chickamauga Dam is I think about 30 minutes from me. Dayton it's on the other end of the Chickamauga Lake, if that helps. Lake Chickamauga. And tomorrow I will be on a show with Lefty. Let's see, what's his numbers? You know, everybody knows Lefty. He has a really fun show that it's one of my favorite ones I do every week because I just get to talk about anything and everything. We don't necessarily talk about fish. Last week, we actually talked a lot about fish. But the week before that, we talked Harry Potter for an hour. And the week before that, we talked superheroes. So you never quite know what you're going to get with us.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, tomorrow will be fun. I plan on doing a little bit of arts and crafts tomorrow on the show. I haven't told Lefty, but there will be a little bit of arts and crafts with Lefty on the Ed and Lefty show at 4 o'clock or 4 o'clock Eastern. I guess, and that's PM. I hope I said that right. Lefty's probably doing his homework right now because he's not typing. Oh, but Zen Ginger is amazing and posted Lefty's channel. So cool beans. And then I also do a show with Chris from Multi-Tank Addiction on Tuesdays.
Yep.
And I don't know if Bob is going to have me this week or if I was a one-time guest, which is totally cool. But Bob has a show on Sundays that he rotates with Haley every week at 8 o'clock Eastern. And I may have been just his first guest. I don't know if he wants me again or not, but I shouldn't have said that on live. But Bob, whatever you want to do, I'm there for you.
Bob's saying,
go
go
check him out. And Bob, I twisted Haley's arm too. I told her, don't forget you're live tomorrow. And she says, no, it's Bob's week. I was like, how's it always going to have to be Bob's week? So she did it.
Bob was mentioning there's a cool ranch with huge cookout and dancing, etc. I think it's still up. Awesome. In San Antonio. That would be cool. I do like huge cookouts. I'm not much of a dancer, but, you know, maybe we can get guppy twerk going on.
That's awesome. And I have a nephew that lives in San Antonio who just had a baby. He was one of the visitors I had for like 2 weeks there that really slowed my life down. And I mean, I love him to death. But let's see if I can find a cute picture of the... Oh, you guys saw the baby live one time. Remember, I had my nephew walk by, and he had a big beard. He could be on your Bearded Nation show.
There we go. I am going to drop the link for that just because we had a couple people ask, and you can't even find it when you search for it, just because the channel's so small right now. Once we actually get some people in there, I'll actually have topics on the live streams, but I didn't really go into the topic this past week because it was just Brad and I, so we just kind of discussed whatever Brad would talk about, which was fun.
That is so cool, man. I would love to hang out with you guys. Let's see. I'm going to copy that link. So when we're done. Oh, and I just deleted my.
Since I post. Yeah, I appreciate it, Zen, and I'm sure you did. But I figured I'd drop it. I wasn't going to, but since several people mentioned it, I figured why not, since it's not searchable at this point.
I just lost my chat. I went to save that, and then I went click. I don't need it anymore.
We have got about a minute. We've been going for an hour and 58 minutes and 47 seconds with the delay. That'll be right at 2 hours when everybody sees this. So I will say a thank you to everybody. I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. I will let Ed do the main set of thank yous, but it's been a blast. I appreciate you all taking care of this man right here. He is awesome. 45 people still watching, 69 thumbs ups.
Wow.
I believe Blake has got a premiere that he's going to run now. And then we'll have Dave's Aquarium Thoughts after that. So be sure to hang around. Plenty more going on tonight. So thank you. Yeah. I'll give it to Ed since he's the host. And yeah.
Yep. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go as quick as possible because I want to make sure that Dave and Blake get their shots. Dave is an awesome show. Go check him out. He puts a lot of time and work into it. super cool guy. Just go check out Dave. And Blake, best hair in all of Australia, and also probably one of the best shows. He's got the video production down. He is awesome. So I'm sure that's going to be good. I want to thank all my mods. Unfortunately, I deleted my comments, so now I don't see my mods by their colors. Thank you guys all for being amazing today. And thank you everybody for showing up. And James, it's always fun. I love hanging out and having fun with you guys and with you, James.
Bye.